Good morning. I'm Jen Amos at Weiss Research, and this is your morning market alert for Friday, April 29th. Andy Myers is off today. Futures are flat after the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed yesterday up 72 points to 12,763. Its best finish in almost 3 years, following a round of mixed economic data and corporate reports. The Standard & Poor's 500 index gained almost 5 points to 1,360, with financials the best performer and energy the biggest laggard among its 10 industry groups. The Dow Jones Transport Index closed at an all-time high. A batch of strong first-quarter earnings reports from airlines and railroads has been the main driver behind the gains. Microsoft said Thursday its fiscal third-quarter net income rose to $5.2 billion, or 61 cents a share, from $4 billion, or 45 cents a share, in the same period a year earlier. Revenue for the period rose 13% to $16.4 billion. Analysts had expected Microsoft to report earnings of 55 cents a share for the quarter and $16.2 billion in revenue. Research in Motion shares dropped sharply Thursday evening after the mobile device maker cut its quarterly outlook. Pre-market prices are off almost 13%. But shares of SunPower rallied 38% as Total SA agreed to take a majority stake in the solar power technology firm. Motorola Mobility reported a narrower than expected loss as it handed in its first quarterly results as an independent company, sending its shares higher in after-hours trade. The company reported an adjusted first quarter loss of 8 cents a share. Analysts were expecting the company to post a loss of 12 cents a share. The company said it expects to at least break even in the second quarter, but could post a profit of up to 12 cents per share, excluding unusual items. Earlier in the day, the Commerce Department reported the U.S. economy grew at a 1.8% annual rate in the first quarter, softer than the 3.1% pace for the prior 3 months. Consumers felt the pinch of higher prices, especially for food and gasoline. However, government spending was the key drag on economic activity, dropping the most since 1983 and subtracting a bit more than a percentage point from overall growth. The housing sector resumed its drop, falling by 4.1% in the first 3 months of the year, after a 3.3% rise at the end of 2010, as the harsh weather hit construction activity. Higher energy and food prices pushed an inflation measure watched by the Federal Reserve up to 3.8% in the first quarter from 1.7% at the end of 2010. It was the biggest increase since the third quarter of 2008. On top of that, the Labor Department reported that the number of Americans filing for initial jobless claims last week rose 25,000 to 429,000, the highest total since late January. All helped to send gold futures to a record Thursday as the dollar fell further. The dollar had already been hit after Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke said Wednesday he would hold the central bank's stimulative stance indefinitely. And Thursday's macroeconomic reports reinforced the view that loose monetary policy is still needed to prop up the economy. However, the dollar has stabilized against major currencies in Asian trade today. Earlier this morning, Merck said its net income more than tripled to $1.04 billion, or 34 cents a share, from $299 million, or 9 cents a share, in the year-ago period. Sales rose 1% to $11.58 billion from $11.42 billion. Results showed the drug company benefited from fewer one-time costs in the recent quarter as well as a lower tax rate. Merck shares were indicated higher in pre-market trading. Caterpillar shares edged higher in pre-market trading after it posted quarterly results that beat Wall Street estimates and boosted its outlook for the full year. The heavy equipment manufacturer said its net income was $1.84 a share in the first quarter, compared with 36 cents a share this time last year. Sales for the most recent quarter reached $12.95 billion, up from $8.24 billion in the same period last year. Analysts had projected Caterpillar to earn $1.31 a share on a revenue of $11.69 billion. More earnings are due today, including Chevron and Merck. Later this morning, personal income for March, the Chicago PMI survey for April, and the University of Michigan final April Consumer Sentiment Index will be released. That's the latest from Weiss Research. I'll be back after the opening bell with all the market reaction.